It's a holiday weekend. I'm really feeling the spring vibe in my floral spring-like apron, and I'm really excited to welcome you to our Facebook Live recipe demonstration today. Please say hello in the comments. That's part of the benefit of doing this live, is that I get to interact with you folks and see where you're watching from. And let me know what your plans are for this weekend, because it is a holiday weekend. Easter is this Sunday. And I've got a really nice recipe for you. I'm going to demonstrate my carrot cake snack bites for you. And it's a really delicious, healthy snack. It's perfect for springtime. It's whole food, plant-based, and gluten-free, and it's just healthy enough for breakfast, but great as an afternoon snack with a cup of tea, maybe amla green tea if you like it. And it's super fun for spring. So let's get started. If you don't remember me from past Facebook Live shows, my name is Stefanie from Green Sage Life. I'm a whole food, plant-based chef and cooking instructor, and I share my recipes on YouTube and Instagram at Green Sage Life. So you can find me there. I would love to connect with you. Bess is watching from Florida. Hi, Bess. Jamie, welcome from Pennsylvania. Awesome, my home state. Paula, welcome. She says she loves the green tea. So nice to have you here. Thank you for watching. Paula's from West Palm Beach, Florida. Great. Happy Easter weekend. Happy Friday. It's really wonderful to have you here. I am going to demonstrate this recipe. I'm going to talk about the ingredients, and then I'm going to, as we put it all together, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the ingredients, give you some tips for shopping for these, and then I will show you what it looks like after you bake them, because I've baked a batch in advance, and I will tell you where to get more recipes, answer some questions at the end. So please stay with us for the whole show. I think you'll really benefit by seeing the entire demonstration today. Gina's watching from New Jersey. Welcome, Gina. Thank you for being here. Great, great, great to see you. Okay, let's make these carrot cake snack bites. They're so delicious. I made these a couple of times for my husband and myself this weekend and yesterday so that I could show you the finished product at the end of this video. And we had to really exercise self-control not to eat these yesterday, so I would have them for you today. Paula says, thank you, nice love recipes. Thank you so much, Paula. Happy Friday. Okay, let's get started. The ingredient list is pretty simple. You'll need a carrot, an apple, and then some ground flaxseed, oat flour, shredded unsweetened coconut, and some cinnamon and spices, and your amla green pumpkin spice, which is so delicious. And we'll put this all together. Don't worry, you don't have to write this down furiously fast, because we will share this recipe in the comments after the live, so you can come back here and reference it there. So let's make this together. I'll show you how easy it is. A couple of preliminary steps first. I have lined a baking sheet with a silicone baking mat. If you don't have one of these, no worries. You can just put down a sheet of parchment paper. If you can find it unbleached, that's even better, but any parchment will do. This is one of these Silpat silicone baking sheets. I'm going to put this aside for now. A couple of other things I've done preliminary to save time for our demonstration is I've shredded one medium carrot. We're going to use about 3/4 cup of grated carrot in this recipe. And I've done the same with about half of a large apple, an apple about this size. That gives you some reference. This is an envy apple variety. It's my favorite, but any apple variety will do. And the carrots and the apple are going to kind of lend some sweetness, healthy sweetness to this recipe. The recipe otherwise can be completely fruit sweetened, so it's really great if you're managing any health condition or just trying to be healthy in general. Okay, the other thing I've done in advance is I have soaked about 7 large medjool dates in hot water to soften them enough that they would blend up nicely in a food processor. And I have also blended these up. So that's what we're looking at right here. And I'll show you what that looks like. It's just a puree. If you didn't want to take this step to do the dates and puree them, you could use unsweetened applesauce in place of the dates. Then in that case, you might want to add a little maple syrup because it won't be as sweet for our treats, but dates are a really great way to sweeten a baked good in a natural way with all the fiber of the fruit in there too. Okay, so let's grab a mixing bowl. And we will mix this together, and I'll show you throughout the process here so you can see what it looks like. Diana says hi from Pennsylvania. Hello, thank you for being here. Kevin from Arizona, thanks for watching, Kevin. Happy Friday. All right. And if I don't comment on your comment, it's because I don't see all of them during the live session, so don't be offended, but I will comment after. So please keep those comments coming. Okay, so I've got a mixing bowl here. I'm going to start by adding the shredded carrot. It's a three quarters of a cup, about. And I'm going to add about 3/4 of a cup of the shredded apple as well. And you can leave the peel on. That's always a good idea because there's a lot of antioxidants and nutrients, fiber in the peel as well. So it will not detract from the texture of these treats. Then we're going to get in some oat flour. I buy flour, oat flour already ground, or oats already ground into flour. Sometimes this is difficult to find at the grocery store, oat flour. So you could order it online at Amazon, or you can, I'm going to give you a little hot tip here. This is just ground rolled oats. So if you have rolled oats at home, you can put them in your food processor and make your own oat flour here. We're going to use a 1/2 cup of this right on top of the carrots and the apples. We're also going to add a 1/4 cup of unsweetened shredded coconut. Again, you can usually find this in the baking aisle at your grocery store, but if you can't, you can get it online. Sometimes it comes in shreds that look more like the shreds that we had for our apples and carrots, but you can, sometimes it's more of a ground, like a flour-like consistency, and it doesn't matter. Either one works. That reminds me, I wanted to tell you about shredding the apples and carrots. I used my food processor with the shredding disc to do that. It literally does it in seconds. So it's a really great tool. You can pull out your food processor if you've got one and outfit it with your shredding disc and just pass the carrots and the apples right down there and they shred them instantly. If you don't have a food processor with a shredding disc, you can grab one of these. Almost every household has one, right? It's this metal box grater. And it just takes a minute to shred about 1 carrot and 1/2 an apple. Just core the apple first, but do leave the peel on for that. All right, so now we've got our carrots and apples, our oat flour, and our coconut in the mixing bowl. We will also add another ingredient that might be, you might consider this a little bit of a special ingredient. It's a low-fat almond flour. If you might have heard of powdered peanut butter. This is the same idea, but it's with almonds. So the fat has been extracted, and what's left is the rest of the nutrients. So there's a lot of protein in here, and the almond flavor is very intense. But it's really great, especially if you are following a whole food, plant-based, and low-fat lifestyle to manage diabetes or heart disease. So you can find this online. It's called low-fat almond flour or defatted almond flour on Amazon, or sometimes you can find it in health food stores too. So that's going to go in there. If you don't have that special almond flour, you can just use regular almond flour instead. So we've got all of these ingredients in the bowl, and we're going to add some spices now. I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, because we're going for a carrot cake flavor profile here. Lots of cinnamon in there. Cinnamon also really good for you, as well as some ginger and some nutmeg. And all of these spices, including amla, Indian gooseberries, and all of the spices that are contained in the pumpkin spice flavor, belong to a category of foods that are plants, herbs, and spices with medicinal properties. These are medicinal properties that have been documented in scientific studies, and you want to kind of work these into your diet whenever you can. Just really beneficial for antioxidants and other health benefits. I'm putting a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger on top of the cinnamon here. And then I'm going to use a 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Mine's got the shaker top on it, so you could just do a couple shakes, because it's just a pinch of nutmeg. I'm going to measure about 1/2 of my 1/4 teaspoon measuring spoon here to get an 1/8. And then we're going to do our amla green pumpkin spice. By the way, if you have questions while I'm putting this together, put them in the comments and I'll try to get to them at the end of this presentation. You can put anywhere from 4 to 6 scoops of the amla green pumpkin spice. The more you put in, the better off you are, because it's a benefit to your health, but it's also gonna add more flavor to your recipe as well. So that's 4, I think. You guys counting? I'm talking too much. 5, 6, and this is gonna be 10. It's gonna make 10 little carrot cake snack bites. So sorry, 20 carrot cake snack bites. So you'll see that this is, it's not a ton for the amount of food we're making here. But again, this is going to be so good for just so many aspects of health, the antioxidant benefits, but also blood glucose control and your heart health. So it's really great to work this into your daily lifestyle. And that's part of our goal here, doing these demonstrations, is to show you how to do that. So now I'm just going to mix all of my apples and carrots in with the dry ingredients until the apples and carrots are well coated here in the dry ingredients. Nice and easy here to do. Just takes a few stirs to get it all well mixed. And obviously you're going to think to yourself, this is too dry, and it's because we haven't added the wet ingredients yet. So we'll get there in just a moment. But that's it. That's what we're going for here. You can kind of take a closer look as I hold it up. And now I'm going to switch to my bowl of date syrup, pureed dates. However, I apologize because I forgot to do one more preliminary step. One of the ingredients here is my ground flaxseed, and we want to make it into a flax egg. It's what it's referred to as. We're going to add, this is 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed, and I've got 3 tablespoons of water in this little glass jar. I'm just going to add it, and then I'm going to whisk it together with a fork. And we just usually let this sit for a few minutes while we're putting the rest of the ingredients together, and it thickens. But it also has sort of like an adhesive type property, and becomes the consistency of a beaten egg. And that's going to help hold all the ingredients together for a baked good that does not contain eggs. So that's why we do that. We still have plenty of time to let this sit and thicken here, so I'm just going to put that aside for now. And now back to my date puree. We have a couple of optional ingredients to add to this. The first is, if you'd like to make it just a little sweeter, I would add 1 tablespoon of pure maple syrup. Check your ingredients to make sure that your maple syrup is only 1 ingredient. A lot of commercially available brands put in, corn syrup and food dyes and things, but the pure maple syrup is what we're looking for here. This is an optional ingredient. Given that we're going to make 20 little snack bites, the amount of syrup in each one is pretty small, but it does lend an element of sweetness to it, but it also, because it's sticky, it helps everything hold together a little better too. And then we're going to put a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Quick and easy here for a little extra flavor. And I'm really excited for you to try this recipe and to continue to discover that the Amla Green pumpkin spice is not just for fall. It really works all year round. So I'm going to use my spatula here, and I'm just going to mix the maple syrup and the vanilla extract into the date puree. Just easier to incorporate that evenly into the recipe if you add it to the dates first. And by the way, this mixture smells so good. It smells like caramel. Dates and vanilla extract is basically nature's caramel. So, so good. And this is going to give the recipe a lot of its sweetness as well as its liquid ingredients. So, okay, once this is mixed, Jared is watching, hyped to be here. Thanks for being here, Jared. So nice to see you. And we're just gonna add the date puree with the maple syrup and vanilla extract right on top of our dry ingredients in the mixing bowl. I'm gonna get it all in there, might as well. So it's like lots of delicious flavor here going in. And now we will also add that flax mixture that we just put together. You'll see how quickly it thickens. It becomes very viscous, right? Just like an egg. And we're gonna add that to our mixing bowl as well. Silicone spatula is such a great tool if you don't have one in your kitchen. Pick one up. It's just so versatile. Everything works well with a silicone spatula, and it's heat resistant. So we're gonna mix in our liquid ingredients, our wet ingredients into the dry, and you'll start to see it come together. It becomes more like a cookie dough stickiness. A cross between a cookie dough and maybe like a muffin batter. And that's kind of what the finished product ends up being too. It's basically a cross between a cookie and a muffin, I would say. That's what the consistency will be. And you'll see, I'll show you in just a few moments, but we're gonna continue stirring this until the dry streaks kind of fade into the batter. So you can kind of push it down, give it a stir, fold it in, and then once the white, sort of the powdery look goes away, it gets absorbed by the wet ingredients, then this is ready to form our carrot cake snack bites. And it really smells good. It really does smell like carrot cake. Obviously, this treat is not going to taste like carrot cake, cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory. But let's be honest, who feels good physically after they leave the Cheesecake Factory? What's nice about this recipe is that it's healthy for you, but it still gives you that taste of sweetness, and it's just all around so much better for you. Okay, and it's still tasty. It's a nice treat. Okay, this is looking really good. I'm gonna hold it up so you can see it a little better. There you go. So it's kind of like I said, almost like a cookie dough batter. And that's it. It's ready to put onto our baking sheet. So I am going to scrape away the rest of the batter here from the silicone spatula and set that aside. And then I will pull out, oops, sorry for the noise, our prepared baking sheet that I mentioned at the beginning. I've got a silicone baking mat on the sheet in case you weren't here for the beginning of this video. You could also use parchment paper. And I'm just gonna use my tablespoon, like my literal measuring spoon here, to measure out 1 tablespoon dollops of the batter. And I have a teaspoon, just like from the silverware drawer. And I'm gonna coax the batter out of the tablespoon onto my baking sheet, just like that. And so you're gonna get like a mounds of these carrot cake snack bites. And you'll space them evenly, but you don't have to worry about them spreading. It's not like traditional cookies in that way. They basically retain the shape in which you put them on the baking sheet. So again, I've got a tablespoonful of the batter, and I'm using my teaspoon to just kind of coax the batter out onto the baking sheet. And I'll show you this just a couple more times. It's pretty straightforward. And then I won't do the whole tray, so you don't have to watch me do all 20 of these, but this will yield 20 carrot cake snack bites. And then I will show you what they look like when they do come out of the oven. And then I'll finish these after the video and put them in the oven here at home. Okay, so this is what they're looking like on the baking sheet. Got a little sunshine here. Let's see if I can make that better for you. That's what they look like. Set that aside just for a second so I can show you now what the finished product looks like. Unless I have any questions, this would be maybe a good time to answer them. If I don't have amla pumpkin, can I use regular amla and some pumpkin spice? Fantastic question, Terry. Thank you so much for asking. Yes, absolutely you can. That way you'll get the benefit of the amla, the Indian gooseberries, which is so good for you. Plus, you'll get your the pumpkin spices. So those warming spices at home, like the cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, the ones that we added, ginger. Or you could even just add more of your own from your spice cabinet, the same spices. So very great question. Jane asks, can this be made without pumpkin amla? So yeah, absolutely. If you want to do the regular amla green, that will give you the benefit of the amla, the Indian gooseberries, but then you can supplement with more of your spices. We used today the cinnamon, I showed you, and nutmeg and ginger. So just double up on those instead. And yeah, if you can get the amla, that will be even better for your health, but it is not necessary for this recipe. Great questions. Thank you so much for asking. Let's see, we have more comments. Maisie through Gina says, love watching this, love you. Maisie's my niece. Thanks for being here, Maise. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like. Okay, these have come out of the oven yesterday, actually. I'm gonna hold this up so you can see. Let's see, that's a little better in the light here. So they're really cute little snack bites. You'll bake these at 350 for about 28 minutes, and you'll see they get a little bit golden. Little mirror image here. Let's try to find a good place for you. There you can see they're a little golden on the bottom and around the edges. And they're a little bit soft, kind of like a cross between a cookie and a muffin. And so good. They really do taste like carrot cake, guys. It's so fun, but they're healthy. I would feel great eating a few of these for breakfast, grab and go, but forgive me for talking with my mouth full. So good. It's just really nice as a snack. You get hungry in the middle of the afternoon, brew yourself some amla tea and have it together as a snack. It's wonderful for Easter weekend for the carrot cake theme. Is a really great festive way. You can bring this to your family gatherings. Marley says, looks so yummy. Thank you, Marley. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so if this recipe is something that you like to, this is a recipe that you like to make, the kind of thing that you enjoy eating, then definitely visit the Amla Green website. They're putting more and more recipes like this on their website, and it's a great resource to a great place to look for more inspiration. You can also find recipes showing up on their Instagram account, so check them out. It's Amla Green Health on Instagram. So if we have no more questions, I feel like maybe we can wrap this up. That's great. Thank you, friends. Have a happy Easter holiday weekend, no matter what your plans may be. And I hope that you enjoy these carrot cake snack bites as much as I do. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you again next time.